If you own your own business, planning how to maximise the use of income tax allowances and exemptions can be easier than for non-business owners, as you probably have more control over your source and level of income. One factor that helps us with income tax planning for the next few years is the period of relative stability we're in right now in relation to allowances, exemptions and thresholds. It's probably the kind of stability that you don't really want and could do without, because that stability is caused by the freezing of these allowances and thresholds until April 2026. First things first, when it comes to income planning, it makes absolute sense if you're a married couple or in a civil partnership that you use each of your income tax allowances and various tax thresholds. With careful planning, you can make sure that the income flows in the right way so that you're using your tax allowances to their maximum benefit. I discussed the transfer of investments and savings for the purpose of managing income tax efficiently in another video, and the marriage tax allowance in other videos, which you can find links to in the description below. So, what specifically could you do as a business owner? Where do you have more control? Well, you could pay a salary or dividends to your spouse or civil partner who isn't currently using their allowances. This might use their £2,000 annual dividend allowance, their £12,570 personal allowance, that's the amount you can earn before paying income tax, or their basic rate tax band. Let's look at the dividend allowance first. In order to pay someone dividends, they need to own shares in your company. If they don't already own them, you may need to transfer some shares that generate dividends to the person receiving the payment, or you want to receive the payment. The transfer must be of shares that give the new owner full voting rights in your company. There can't be a separate class of shares created just to generate income. You need to be prepared to transfer ordinary shares that carry both voting and capital rights, which would mean the capital on a sale or winding up of the business. Then the dividends that flow from these shares will be paid to the person who has had the shares transferred to them. And then they are liable for any income tax that arises, or any tax that arises on those. Everyone has a dividends allowance of £2,000 per year, which means you can take dividends of up to £2,000 free of tax. From April 22, dividend tax is increasing by 1.25% across all income tax brackets, so the ordinary rate is increasing to 8.75%, the upper rate to 33.75% and the additional rate to 39.35%. If your company year end is aligned to the tax year, you can choose how much dividend to pay once you have an idea of the profitability of your company's finances during the year. Remember that any dividend paid to your spouse must also be paid to all shareholders in that same class of share. Of course, if you want to pay a salary or bonus to someone who's already on your company payroll to enable them to use up their personal allowance or use up more of their basic rate allowance, that is possible as long as the person is actually employed by your firm. These are all great ways to take advantage of the flexibility a business can offer, but it is important to remember that for salary and bonus payments to be deductible for the business, they need to have been incurred solely and exclusively for the purpose of the trade. Broadly speaking, the person receiving the money needs to have done the work appropriate to the amount of money that they've received. So if you have a spouse on the books being paid a significant amount of money and for doing very little work, you could expect a potential challenge from HMRC. Thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. I'm Justin King. I'm a chartered and certified financial planner. My aim is to help people live successful lives, and that often involves understanding your money. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please press the like button, subscribe so that more people like you can find my channel, and you'll be notified of any new videos that I put out. For now, I'm Justin King, helping you live your best life.